Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing some early rounds of Nightmare mode, and I'm going to be doing it hasty only, so you can kind of get a feel for how the early rounds of Nightmare are going to go with only hasty. I don't recommend playing Nightmare mode until you have hasty, because it's just such a game-changing trait, and some enemies are literally impossible without hasty. So it's just the best trait, and if you don't know already, you can stack hasty with any other trait, so I'm not only going to be using hasty. So you'll see how I deal with some things without detective, and just see how I deal with things only using hasty. And I'm going to be going through the early rounds. I'm going to try and get to round 20. That's my main goal, because I view the early rounds as rounds 1 through 20. Usually when most of the RNG Baneful monsters are. And here we have a window spawn. Let's see how this goes. Okay, well we have Director. I'm gonna... Okay, well, I actually already messed up. Okay, I was gonna go to Therm. We're gonna go to Atrium. Let me swap back to AC. You see him over there. I just instinctively swapped the Detective and was going to go to Thermo. So Wanderers without life are actually pretty hard. And if you want, you can kind of like long loop them. Just stay in fire. But obviously Director is very scary. How fast he is. And if you're going to be hiding here in Atrium, you need to be very careful if you don't have Lightfoot. When he comes, you're able to boost away easily without hitting a camera. This is the hardest Wanderer, and he's very, very RNG. So don't be sad if you ever die to him. I'll place a light there. Yeah, this is the Director. He's a Wanderer, so means he doesn't know where you are. And he places these camera traps around the map. And if you step at them, and he sees you, if you step at him, they'll mark you for about 10 seconds and make a really loud noise. And if he sees you during those 10 seconds, he will run like twice as fast to you, way faster than you could ever run with Bloxy 8 or anything. So if he sees you, you'll pretty much die. And while you are marked, he does wander around faster too. You can see him right there. Got a little camera on his head. But the redeeming factor is he has no interest at all. And I've explained this before, but interest is once something like a Wanderer sees you, they will target you and chase you no matter if they have line of sight on you or not. For like say 5 to 10 seconds, depending on how long their interest mechanic is. But Director luckily has no interest at all. So as soon as you break line of sight, he'll just start wandering again. He'll go wherever he wants and lose his speed. And another thing that makes him somewhat balanced is that his line of sight is actually worse than normal. You can see he had a little camera on his head with a line that points to where he's looking. He has about 180 degree vision radius, maybe a little smaller than that. So he can't see you if he's not looking directly at you usually. Yeah, he does normally walk around, and sometimes he stops to scan the area around him by doing a full 360. And he does one shot, which makes him very scary. But yeah, stuff like this, before you have Lightfoot, Wanderers will be really RNG. And if you don't have Detective, then you can't do the thermal loop that I was planning on doing. So you kind of just sit here and hope you're able to get away if he comes. Yeah, he's the hardest Wanderer for sure, but then again, he's a Wanderer, so you can just be AFK all around or you can just die instantly. And you see the rounds ending. Yeah, it's pretty chill. I am using the Lantern and the Deluxe Sentry. You don't have to use this. You can easily replace it with the camera or just normal Sentry. Deluxe Sentry is way better than the normal Light Sentry. A little bit pay to win, but you know, it's okay. If you are low on bullion and you're saving up, you can either buy only one of the boosts. You can not buy a Light Sentry. or use Lucky Apple instead of Golden Apple, depending if you have the Game Pass or not. But a lot of these items are essential, like just having more things is just always better. Baneful Dreammaker, you probably couldn't hear about that, but this is Baneful Dreammaker. He always spawns mid, so you can see the window, the spawn is that window over there, but he came from middle. So yeah, he always spawns middle, you gotta be careful with that. You know he spawns when you hear that loud scream. And the way he works is that he runs really fast to you, but if you're looking, he'll turn invisible and slow down. You can see he's running to me, turns invisible because I'm looking. If I look away, he turns invisible for a second. Yeah, he goes really slow when you're looking. And he kind of eases into his slowdown. It doesn't slow down instantly as soon as you start looking. And you can also see he spawns paintings around the map to mess up your looping, since you have to loop backwards. You always need to be looking at him. Here's a little painting on that storage wall there. If you touch those, you will die instantly. So you need to be very careful with how you loop, and you need to be able to memorize loops backwards and be able to do any loop you can backwards. You really can do any loop on this guy. There isn't like any bad loop, besides like really short loops or ones with a lot of paintings that you can't really dodge. Yeah, just practice your favorite loop and learn to do it backwards. My preferred loop is definitely long. It's just always the easiest loop for me. You can do it either way, doesn't matter what direction you do it. You just always have to be careful of that painting and storage. That's pretty much the only thing you have to worry about. There's also another problem with this guy, is that he's kind of bugged. But he creates a lot of lag when he's spawning, so you gotta be careful. And it's also one of the shortest, or it actually is the shortest round. 1 to 10, 120 seconds long. And Baneful Dreammaker, you could die really easily too if you're not starting in a prepared spot. That's good for him, and you're not always ready for him to spawn. Like, let's say the spawn's here in fire. If I'm just standing here and Baneful Dreammaker spawns, he will just run right behind me before I can even react, and I will probably die. So you always need to make sure you're ready for him. And always think about where you're starting and what gates you have and how you're going to loop him if he spawns. Baneful Dreammaker and Baneful Screamer are the two that I just always think about early rounds on what I want to do with them. There's Desolator. This is the Desolator. He runs... first off, his ambience is very delayed, so you don't know he spawns for a while. And he's a very, like, 90% transparent ghost. So it's hard to see him at the first phase. And he does have multiple phases, so this first phase he just chases you, and if he touches you, he will mark you for death. And you'll be unable to lose your... you'll be unable to sprint, sorry. And with Hasty on, you can just do long loop. You can do pretty much any loop on this guy, as long as you have Hasty. Yeah, when you're marked for death, you're unable to sprint, but he won't kill you yet. He can only kill you once he goes to his next phase, which he'll do right now. Pulls out a chainsaw. You see the fog goes away. And he starts moving very slowly to you. So yeah, he's about walking speed right now, so you are able to survive this phase if you're just walking away from him. But he will get faster. Goes to phase 3 where he goes faster, and then phase 4 where he goes max speed. And so yeah, counter this guy. Just make sure you have good lights at the start, and cheerful lights if you can to hear him coming, because it's hard to see him sometimes. And then pretty much just loop and just make sure you don't get marked in the first phase. And you'll pretty much always survive. There is a tech to survive if you do get marked, but it's a little complicated and RNG, so I don't recommend it. Well, obviously you have to do it if you get marked, but I don't recommend relying on it. I won't be explaining it now. Maybe if I get the multiplayer, I will. Yeah, I just like the long loop this guy. In general, I prefer longer loops more because if you ever lag spike randomly, shorter loops like old storage or clock loop or thermo loop are very punishing because if you lag spike for even a second, you could just die. But if you go on long loop with a bigger loop, it's very loud music, so maybe I have to turn it down in post. But if you lag spike on a longer loop, you don't just instantly die. You actually get a chance to keep living. That's why I almost always prefer long loops. And just having distance in general is nice, especially if you don't have detective yet. And another thing about Desolator is his speed in phase 1 and in the last phase, this phase right here, scales with how many players are alive in the lobby. So he gets +1 speed per alive player in the first and last phase. So you do need to be very careful with that. In bigger lobbies, you can get people marked really easily if you aren't careful. Do this. Use triple lights this time. Yeah, that's Desolator. He's 1 to 50, so he is, in my opinion, the easiest 1 to 50 monster. He can be scary if you have to start in a bad spot and you don't hear his ambience in time. Besides that, he's pretty simple. I do have window gates, so Baneful Screamer's a little hard here. I might have to try Attic. I could try Clock. Okay, so this is unknown one. I'm gonna try long looping without detective. Without detective, this guy is pretty much impossible, but I'm gonna try my best. Here he's coming. Just wanna make sure you have distance. Okay, he's coming. I get a light here. Alright, he's coming. Yeah, if you don't have detective, then you kind of want to do a bigger loop. You just always have distance. He's coming. Alright, he's coming again. So, I haven't explained this guy yet, but he is an unknown monster. He is the first unknown monster you can encounter. He's 1 through 10. He is a pseudo wanderer, which means he knows where you are and wanders an area around you. See where there he is. And it's a very small area. There he is. And when he sees you, he'll run at you faster than coffee speed. So he can't coffee away. He does see you. And he's coming. Coming again. Go there, he's double back. Just gonna go. More lights in this hall. It is very bad, actually. Okay, he's there. Need more lights than long. Yeah, usually he is. Hear him. He is you're able to use detective on him. So usually you want to go around thermo or clock, and then mark him with detective. But you can just do this window loop, or not window loop, long loop. You don't have detective. And if he ever does catch up to you and start hitting you, you need to block the away. That's the only way to get away. Alright, and that's unknown one without detective. You could hear he does make some noises, so you can kind of hear where he is, but it's very quiet. And he does have one small mechanic that I was also looking for, but I couldn't really explain because it was really intense. I need to lock in. Where he makes a little dun dun noise and starts running at you faster than normal, and he just runs to your position for a bit. So he does know where you are in that moment. If you hear that, you can pretty safely start running away if you're doing a long loop. Yeah, normally I would go here with detective, get lights on either side, and just mark them and always be out of line of sight. Yeah, like I said, he's a pseudo wanderer. His wander range is very, very small. So he'll always be wandering in a pretty close area around you. Okay, here we have Craftsman. I might have explained this guy before, but I'll explain him again. This is the Craftsman. He runs slightly slower than hasty speed, but faster than no hasty. So no hasty is actually quite scary. And you can see right there, he places cones behind him as he walks. And the cones, if you step on them, you will trip on them, and you'll be sit stunned, or just like flung for about 3 seconds, and he'll be able to catch up to you in that time. You always want to avoid the cones. And if he does catch up to you, you are forced to boost away. So this guy's a boost check in a way. If he does catch up, you can see he does make noises. He does have voice lines, and he has a light, so it's easy, very easy to tell where he is usually. He does make a little noise every time he places a cone. So yeah, these cones, they incentivize you to switch loops every so often. So I'm going to swap the window loop here. And near the end of the round, I'm going to forcibly get hit so I can show you how to get away from him. I'm going to go to clock here, actually. You can see the clock. I recommend not doing short loops on him unless you absolutely have to, because these short loops cover very little ground, so it's easy to stack a lot of traps fast. So normally I would just map loop, or long loop, or window loop, or shop loop. Just any loop that isn't super short. Here, gonna get hit by a cone. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, you're just like this, can't move at all. And then he's gonna start hitting me. I have to boost away, otherwise I can't move at all. And then when it ends, you lose your hasty unless you have it equipped. But I have it equipped, so I can just keep using it. I can just keep running away. That's a Craftsman. He is 1 through 40, so he's pretty far in a nightmare mode. It's one of the easier ones. Get these lights set up. And you probably know this already, but I am checking gates every round. If you don't know already, it's very important to be checking gates. You don't want to run into a gate you don't know exists. And some gate combos can just fully lock down a part of the map. So you always want to be checking gates. Usually they're not as important 1 through 10, except for a few monsters. But I still do it anyways, just for good habit. Okay, this is Devourer. Might see me here. He does see me. Let me go here. He's coming. My coffee. Alright, so this is Devourer. Sorry, I couldn't really talk because he was just on me at the start. But he's a Wanderer. This is his Baneful Devourer, so he's a harder version. He wanders faster. And he, like I said, Wanderers are quite scary without Lightfoot. And he is slower than Director. But he can shoot a slowing bone. And if that hits you, you need a resprint. It cancels your sprint. He can't slow you down with that. And if he does kill someone, he has a chance to enter a feasting state or a hungry state or whatever you want to call it. And everything goes red and he targets anyone alive chasing them. And if they see him, he goes Mach 10. So he's very scary. He can wipe out servers of players super easily if just one person dies. And yeah, this is my other spot I like to go for Wanderers. I like to have lights up to always know. And this attic gate here actually helps us survive. It's actually helpful for us. Because let's say Devourer comes in through this way, I can go. I have plenty of time, I get a bunch of distance. He comes in through this way, now I'm here. I can safely just jump across this and go down the stairs without any worry of him cutting me off through this attic area. This is definitely one of the harder Wanderers. Not as bad as Director, of course, but yeah, pretty scary. It's like he makes little footstep noises, and obviously makes little like squelching meat noises. I don't know how to explain it, and that's to help you know where he is. So if you do hear him far away with those noises, so you can hear him. He's like down here. He's right below me right now. Oh, he's like over here. He has that little droning noise around him, and those quiet footsteps. You're almost always able to hear where he is, especially if he's close to you. So if you want to replace lights, wait till you hear him far away and then go over here and place a light. I did make one mistake that round, is since it's window spawn, going to Atrium's kind of hard, because if you're standing, you get into Atrium, you have to stand in line of sight of the spawn and he will see you. So, and alternatively, you can go through here, and then around through kitchen, and then get the shop. It does take more time, and it's scary, gives them more time to wander, but I do prefer doing that usually. Or just going to Thermo if I have Detective. Alright, this is glitch, Baneful glitch. Oh, hello. He's a bit of an RNG check, pretty scary. There he is. He completely stops if you're looking at him. And he does teleport randomly around the map. And he does insta-kill. There he is. So he does become a lot less RNG as Detective. You can see where he goes, sometimes we see where he teleports. And I like to stay in fire here. Here he is. He's a very audio-based monster, so I might have to be quiet here a bit. If he teleports behind me, I didn't know. And the reason I'm not holding my lantern out here is because lantern does block line of sight for whatever reason. So it can be a little sketchy holding a lantern out. There is one weird gimmick about him that I'll try and explain. Is he targets the closest player and he can either TP around them. There he is. I'm gonna unsuck there. You can either TP in an area around them or TP to a universal TP around the map. And when he TPs to a universal TP, he starts running at you with no cooldown. So if he TPs to the one in shop to my right, you'll just start running at me instantly, no cooldown. I have to be ready for that. But if he TPs in an area around you, he will have a delay before he starts moving if you're not looking. Oh, hello. Don't like you there. Can kind of move him around a bit if you want. Jeez, that scared me. Okay. Yeah, that's Baneful glitch. He's very RNG. Don't be sad if you die to him. I prefer that in that spot on fire because you can always just listen if you teleport behind you. You can just look. You brave a blizzard. It's fun. When you have blizzard, I always recommend just getting as many lights as possible, especially if you can use utilitarian to get even more lights. It's always good to have a billion lights. Now this is the worst weather event in the game for Nightmare mode. As you can see, it does 3 damage a second, but you heal 1 damage a second passively because of passive regen. So it does about 2 damage a second. And the biggest problem is that it makes everything super dark and hard to see. And that's the main issue with Blizzard, is just how much harder it is to see during the night, especially in Nightmare mode where the lighting effects are usually darker. And let's see if there's radiator spawn. So there's a radiator over here. One way to get rid of the damage is just step near this radiator for a bit. It persists during the night too. And then you'll just not take damage for a bit. And another way, during the day is usually why when you do this, is the fire's on. And it's only on during the day, of course. And you're gonna stand near this. Use cheerful lights because since I can't see that far during the night with Blizzard, I want to be able to hear if the monster's coming to me. If I do get Ashen Maw here, it's gonna be a little scary. The whole nap a lot just needs Zap Ashen. Deso? Yes. Yeah, I don't need a boost. Normally, if you have a bigger server, you'll need a boost there, but he's about hasty speed when you're a single player. And the reason I knew it was Deso was because the ambience was just super delayed, not even appearing yet. And there is one other monster that does that. And that's 1 through 20. It's Wasp. So it can either be Wasp or Deso if you don't hear any ambience. Yep, we'll just handle this guy like before. It's pretty chill. I'll go get some lights going. You can see just how, like if I don't hold anything out, you can see just how dark it is. during the night with Blizzard. It's so bad. It's definitely way overtuned. Sorry about that. Bless me. Yeah, it just makes the lantern even better. Which I don't like how strong the lantern is. It should be in the shop. It's gonna be this strong. Yeah, you can see just how much brighter it is with the lantern. If you don't, it's just black darkness. Yeah, since it's hard to see Desolator during Blizzard, I just listen for his noise. One little quirk about Desolator is that normally enemies' round timers go up the further you are in. The Desolator, his phases are synced exactly to the music. So his round timer actually doesn't increase throughout the rounds. It's about like 160 seconds or something, I don't know. I forget how long it is exactly, but it'll always be that duration. So he's actually one of the longer monsters, 1 through 10. Most of them are between 2 and 2.5 minutes. Okay, we have Long Gate. We just kind of hope we don't get Seeker here. Since Long Gate, the enemy will be coming from the storage area. And right now my biggest fear is either Periscope or Baneful Screamer or Baneful Dreammaker or Seeker. Baneful Glitch sucks too. Okay, here he is. Apple does block line of sight too. Oh, by storage. But you do have to heal, so. Oh my gosh, hello. It's right there, could have died pretty easily, but we're alive. Actually, gonna hold my lantern out. Let's see, just move there for fun. Yeah, yep. But I thought it's even an attic there. That's the one thing you do need to worry about with the Baneful glitch in fire spawn is you can keep the attic. I need you to run away, or he'll drop on your forehead. This is very scary. Sorry, I'm just lucky. Okay. Blizzard might actually end either before boss or halfway through it. I don't know how lucky I get. Behind me. I heard him to be behind me, and then I could jump and see his little particles around him. That's how I knew for sure he's behind me, and see if he would leave or not. Okay, we don't have a long gate. So this is our first boss round. Let's see what we get. Pretty much anything is really bad with Blizzard. We kind of hope the Blizzard goes away. We have Shop Therm. If you're not going to check gates, at least check them during boss rounds, because a lot of bosses are gate dependent, especially early. Well, especially compared to the early game monsters. A lot of the early game monsters aren't gate dependent. We have Shop Therm TV. The bosses always are. So right now I'm hoping for Wicked isn't too bad right now, and probably like Fog. Tenebris. Okay, we have Madman. So this guy's very scary with Blizzard. I'm gonna long loop him since I don't have Detective. Yeah, I hear him on the triple light, so I'm gonna go. So this is Malicious Madman. He's very fast, but he does stutter a lot in his movements, so it does kind of throw you off. His mechanic is a line of sight mechanic. Means if he sees you, he will start stalking you, standing still and stalking you. And if he stalks you for 3 seconds cumulative throughout the round, he will target you and kill you. So you pretty much always need to be out of sight. And this long loop ends up being perfect, where he will never flank on you unless you go way too fast. Hurt him. And he'll never see you throughout the loop if you're doing it right. Obviously there's a bit of RNG because he does stutter a lot. And I'll explain this now. There's a slight mechanic that I do where the way fog works is it's based on where your camera is. You can actually see further if I zoom in a little bit. You can see him coming sooner. That's a little mechanic I like to do for during Blizzard or things where the fog is worse than normal, and I really need to see it as fast as possible. See him there. Luckily the Blizzard is gone now, so we'll be able to see a little bit better. Unfortunately, when Blizzard leaves during the round, the fog stays. So it is still hard to see him, but it's a little less dark in general, which is nice. You don't have the passive damage over time. If you're wondering, this loop does still work with haste or without hasting. You just need to be a little faster. During Blizzard, it might not work unless you have cheerful lights down always. Just be careful with that. But once again, I said should not be playing Nightmare mode. You don't have hasty. Yeah, this is one of the 3 bosses that are mainly line of sight based mechanics, or if you're in line of sight, you die. And this is the fastest of the 3. so he can't be the hardest, but he is the only of the three that isn't immune to detective. And if you don't know what the three bosses I'm talking about, is there's Malicious, Madman, Tempest, and Wooden Nightmare. And those three, you might not know what all of them are, what they do, if you're just learning, but pretty much all their mechanics rely on if you're in line of sight, you die. So yeah, normally loops for this guy, I like long the best. Let's just bring an off loop. You can do window loop, chop loop works if you do it right. And then any short loop with detective works too. Short loops are a lot more controlling since you can easily get out of sight really fast. He does end up doing something you aren't expecting. But usually I recommend this long loop or window loop, because those are pretty easy anyways. So that's Madman. You did see at the end there, he does have like a weird mechanic where he gets mad and just starts running slightly faster. And he will instantly kill you if he sees you doing that. But if you have distance on him like I do in the long loop, then you'll be fine. Now we have thermo spawn, so I'm preparing for thermo spawn. Therm, carpet. Therm, carpets. We have Maestro, so I'm glad we got this monster because it's 10 to 20 or 10 to 50. I've explained this before in my 39 to 50 commentary video, but I'll explain it again. This is Maestro. This is blue phase currently. During blue phase, he runs really fast for the closest person and will kill them if they're moving, but if you stand still, he won't kill you. And in multiplayer, everyone else needs to gather around the person he's targeting. Otherwise, you'll start taking damage. So you need to gather around and stand still. And it's called the mournful phase because it makes you come to him and mourn, playing sad music. So it's pretty cool lore. I like the lore of that, where he forces everyone to come and mourn or he kills them. Okay, we have red phase. This is Wrathful. I'm planning on just long looping here. Long loop's very easy. So Wrathful, he just chases you like normal, and he is faster in line of sight. For multiplayer, if he kills one person, he'll kill anyone else who's also in line of sight of the person you just killed. No, just run there. Yep, pretty much any loop works on Wrathful. Here we have Gleeful. He's a little bit like Corruption. He runs if he can't see you, but goes really slow if he does see you. And he likes to flank. You can see he just came through the other side of the lawn because he flanked, and he's doing it again. He's going up into the attic to place a trap, because this phase he also places traps that expand over time. And they're very scary because they cover their screen with a weird UI that is very visually distracting and it's hard to see. I'll step on a trap. There's one in the long here. You can see. You see this, and it's very hard to see through it, especially if you have Bloodlust. Yeah, pretty much just loop this guy, and then whatever loop you're doing, don't go back to that loop. We have blue again. One thing about the traps is that they either last 2 minutes or after someone steps on them 3 times. So you can get rid of them if you're just stepping on them a bunch, and you'll be able to get rid of them faster than their despawn time. Usually you only do that in multiplayer. I don't risk it in single player usually if I don't have to. If it's mournful phase and I'm like next to a trap, I'll try and stand in the trap before it gets to me so I can get rid of it. But that's about it. This is a little scary. I'm gonna have to go through long where there's a bunch of traps. I might window loop here actually, depending on what happens. Just gonna listen for him. Get rid of that trap, window loop slightly easier here. Yeah, since he flanks on green phase, always listen for him. Yeah, it should be ending. Oh, he's stuck. Cool, peek. Yeah, the traps do about 40 damage, 40 to 45, I forget which one. So, if you step on 3 of them, okay, those are wonderful. If you step on 3 of them at the exact same time, you'll just instantly die. If you step on 2, you'll go really, really low. So yeah, be careful of him stacking traps on top of each other. And since we are 10 to 20 now, the max gates is now 4 instead of 3. So if you're checking for gates, stop once you see 4 instead of the usual 3. Get your lights down. If you're here at Thermo and standing right here at the start, the monster will almost always come from New Gate right here and then through here, so you can place your triple lights here. If the New Gate is up, this guy right here, they will go around it through here and then here, so you can place your triple lights here if you want. Blizzard intermission is always 2 minutes long, so it can be kind of annoying. Replace the triple lights. Baneful Scream is super bad here. Okay, we have Baneful Silence. Not sure if it's red or not. Not yet. Yeah, I hear him. It's not Dread. So this is Baneful Silence, forces you in the first person. And he will talk to you if he's targeting you currently. He does 1 message to everyone at the very start of the round, so he's technically targeting you yet. But if he does the second message to you, he is targeting you. And he does always target the closest person, so you can predict it. And his main mechanic is, since you're in first person, if you look at him ever, he will speed up really fast and just insta-kill you. Normally, he runs behind you very slowly and gets slower the closer he is to you. And then he'll start hitting you, doing about 30 damage per hit and sit stunning you. But if you ever look at all, he'll just instantly kill you with his melee. And with Blizzard, the fog on this round is actually really bad, so once again, if you don't have a lantern, it's kind of cooked. And the way his speed works is he's faster the further away he is from you. So you can do most loops without him reversing as long as you just keep going. You can stall if you want, I recommend using Detective if you can, because Detective does mark him. And the way you can know if he's behind you or not is if you just sit and wait for him, and then as soon as the detective mark goes off and the lights appear around you and he makes a little detective noise, that's how you know he's close up behind you. The detective's kind of like a safety net, but we don't have detective, so we're just gonna keep doing this loop over and over. Yeah, this guy can be very scary in multiplayer. Usually you want everyone else in clock or atrium with one person looping around. You can circle loop him, but I usually don't do it because it's kind of scary. Just always be careful while you're looping him to never like suddenly flick your mouse on accident. I've died like that a few times. Alright. Place one light sentry this time. Oh, well, I'm stupid. We have new gate, so the monster's gonna come from here. Actually gonna place a second, because I kinda have to now. Yeah, don't commit lights before you actually know where the monster's gonna be coming from and where you want to start. So yeah, Baneful Screamer spawns. I'm pretty cooked. Always scary of Baneful. Always scared of Baneful Screamer, especially during Blizzard. It's Desolator. Okay. It's our third Desolator this run. Very fun. You can see the white fog kind of makes him blend in, so you can't really see his face. I actually really like the design of that. Where are you coming? So with three monsters like this, where you're kind of just like AFK surviving, I like to place lights for the next round, just in preparation. So, I like to just place a light here, and that light probably won't be up until the next round starts, but as long as I just have a constant stream of lights coming, then at least there'll be some for sure up. It's always nice getting a free monster during Blizzard, so I can just run down the timer of the Blizzard. That's pretty chill. W Lights injury. Kid Carp. Kid Carp, yeah. So besides the Baneful glitches, our RNG's been pretty good on the monsters. No Baneful Screamer, no Periscope's always nice. Okay, we have Larry. We're gonna long loop him. You can tell it's Larry by the little gun at the start. So this guy's actually pretty complicated. You need to listen. Okay, that was kind of scary there, but I got out. Gonna try and go back to long loop. Alright, now I can hopefully explain what he does. So it's the Singularity. He just chases normally, kills anyone in a big radius around him. Insta kill him. And he places TPs around the map. And can TP to anywhere out of those set TP spots. You need to be very careful on him not cutting you off with a TP. If he does, you need to leave loop immediately. Kind of RNG, so you just kind of want to work to minimize RNG. And you always want to hear where he is. Blizzard makes it harder, of course. Okay, there he is. Normally, the kind of loops I want to do are outside loops with kitchen and atrium and outside, or the mid loop. So I could swap to the outside loop here, but I only do the outside loop if I'm using Lightfoot. It's really, really hard and pretty much RNG impossible if you don't have Lightfoot. So I just do long. And mid loop's only good if you have detective. So hasty only, I prefer long looping. And he does have that ability where after he TPs, he can place a TP behind him to teleport right back to where he TP'd from. So he can kind of juke you out like that. It's a little scary. I'm actually not going to start here. Is window open? Window is open. I don't like starting there because Baneful Screamer can be really bad with them spawn and long gate. I'm going to start here instead. Same with Baneful Dreammaker. Can be scary. If you're starting there, you have to shop where there's webs. Yeah, so hopefully whatever spawns, I can window loop it. Hopefully it's not a wanderer. I'll try to get the attic if it is. See how it goes. Okay, it's Howler. Can see him come. So, Howler's very, very simple. Just like Singularity, the mob we had before, it likes to teleport a lot. And it'll run in a straight line to you really fast. but stop once it sees you and connect the line to you. And if you don't break line of sight in 3 seconds, it will teleport to you and kill you and anyone else it sees around you. So it can chain kill really easily. And you see every time I break line of sight, it TPs away to a random spot on the map. And every time it stares you down and puts that line on you, it gives you between 1 and 2 Hysteria. So it's not that much, but it is enough to accumulate some by the end of the round. Yeah, good spots for this guy. Fire, shop with next to Atrium Gate. Right here. You can kind of do it around attic stairs. I like attic stairs as well. Do it around clock. Do it around shorts. In short hallway. There's a lot of good spots. Usually you don't want to group up with other people, but you can if you absolutely have to. The outside door in Atrium. That spot's really good too for Howler. Just don't need to be in line of sight. Always make sure you're in line of sight, otherwise it'll turn the corner and instantly kill you. And also the very back of attic. Neither the back left or back right is very good for Howler, because there's no TP spots in the back of attic. Only in the front of attic. Yeah, see, I end around about 14 Hysteria. It's not much, but it is... It can be slightly worse if you're having Dread next. Can be a little annoying. Goes Atrium window. There's like a small strat to get less Hysteria, and that's to prevent it from seeing you. And you can't do it forever, but you can loop a little bit if you're solo. I wouldn't really recommend doing it anywhere else if you're multiplayer. And when it does see you, you can delay by not breaking line of sight instantly. You can delay between when it TPs next, so you get less stares in general. Ooh, math. Hopefully I lock in here. Okay, negative. Should just be -7. This is math. I talked about this before. He's a math professor. It's pretty chill. I just want a long loop with this guy. Get some lights down. -8 minus 8, -16, then -20, and then -25. Yep, just always get these math problems right. So if you get them wrong, you get marked, and he'll run after you faster. You'll need a boost. -9, -15, -12. And always make sure you know how the operators go together. If you have negative, it's positive. If you have plus a negative, it's negative. Alright, -4, -8, and -14, I believe. Got 4. Yeah, little strat, unless you're 100% sure on the answer, I like to wait a little bit, even if I'm not 100%, or even if I am 100% sure. Sometimes I like to wait a little bit anyways. 1.5. Because if you don't know the answer at all, then you will just get marked for longer. Because you always get marked if you don't answer. -3 and 12. until you get any right question right heals you. So if you literally just don't know the answer, don't put anything at all, because you get marked for less overall if you don't get it wrong. Uh, 9, 17, 10, I believe. I'm 100% sure, so I'm gonna wait. 17 minus 1, sorry, 10. Yep. So we have 18, so I believe it's 11. 11. One. That's math. If you ever hear people talking about astute or the math facet, if people ask you like, oh, did he get astute there? It's a hidden trait you can get in nightmare mode. Let's see if I have it. I didn't get it, but you'll be able to tell by when you click trait activated, it'll instantly go back to active after 1 second, so you can swap traits faster than normal. And you won't be able to see it in your character tab. And it's a very nice facet. It's so nice you can get in nightmare mode. You can't get really any other facet in nightmare mode besides the math one. Now I'm gonna do Periscope here. I just like an LCR loop. We have Baneful Rips. This will be pretty hard without detected. Baneful Rifts, there's 10 clones, one of them is real, and they appear as lights. Yeah, it would look real to me. Are you real? You are real. Okay, so that's real. Don't do what I did, by the way, by testing if it's real by walking into it. Don't never do that. But I just didn't see other lights around me. The lights can damage you too, and the main rift herself does 99 damage. So if you get hit by a light and then her, you just instantly die. You always want to be at 100 health. Okay, she's coming in. And I don't know if I said this already, but you can tell which one's real by the gravity of her jumps. If a light is jumping really low, that means that's her. The fake lights will jump really high in the air. That tells I was able to tell that she was real at the start there. And she does have an interest mechanic, so once she sees you once, she'll start chasing you for about 5 seconds. She's chasing me here. No other lights have this interest mechanic. Yeah, once you see her, you just want to keep her in her loop because you don't want her to randomly sneak up on you without you knowing. Just always want to know where she is. And always make sure you're in line of sight to keep that interest. And when she starts running at you like this, you can just loop like normal. She can get blocked by other lights. So be careful of her reversing randomly. There she is. You're not 100% sure where she is. One of these, I think. Okay. Well, the round ended, so we're fine. Yeah, it's a lot easier to detect it because you just see her jumping and you can see her through walls. Here we have Newgate, so I'm gonna put the triplets over here. It was Atrium Box Plot. Yeah, loops I do for Baneful Rift are window or shop, and then anything else is kind of hard. But you can do a square around storage, you can long loop. Any shorter loops are very hard. Yeah, protective mates are a lot easier, but that's how you do it without. Here we have Nightstalker, hope they don't lag. I don't have Utilitarian, so we'll see how this goes. Here he is right here. This Nightstalker, he won't kill you as long as you're on the top of a deployable light source. Pretty chill. But he does break deployable light sources like you'll see on screen right now. And you gotta place a new one. Or he will insta-kill you and run very fast. Utilitarian hard counters him. His light bulbs come up super fast. But in single player, there shouldn't be any problems unless he screams faster than he's supposed to. As long as he's right here, close to you and not getting stuck, he will always scream around when your light bulb comes up. You have an invisible disease here. But always make sure you're healing, always make sure you're using your tonic when you can, because it gives hysteria and does damage with the screams. And the timing for when you place the light bulb is about when he's ending his scream. It's very lenient. Just don't do it too soon or your light bulb will break. You can very faintly see the visual roar effect around him, and that when that's ending, you can place it. It's pretty chill. Usually about halfway through the round or in the round, he will break all lights and TP to a random spot. He TPs directly on top of you. He will instantly kill you after you're able to see again. So don't stand on any universal TP spots. But yeah, lag spike once and this guy kills you. So just an insta kill spam monster I don't really like. One other strat you can do is once he screams, you can run far away and just keep luring him around the map. And that gives you a little bit extra leniency. So he does teleport. I'm using my deluxe sentry. The reason you use sentries instead of a light bulb is you don't know how long it's going to take to get to you. You could TP all the way to the clock and take forever to come to you. You'd even get stuck. So I like to have use a light source that lasts longer than normal than like a light bulb does, because light bulbs last about 60 seconds or so. So if it takes 60 seconds to scream again, and you're just sitting there, as soon as your light bulb goes away, you'll just run at you and kill you. Yeah, that's why I use the sentry there, just because it lasts longer than normal. So my flashlight coming back, which means round's ending. That's Nightstalker. It's pretty chill. As long as you don't lag spike. Yep. One round before 20. We'll be going only to 20 in this video. I will make a future video that's 30 to 40 for the mid game. And I'll be highlighting the round 25 boss in that and everything you do to fight it, and I don't have any strats, but for now, this is only the early game. This is only what you need to start earning money in Nightmare mode, start getting a feel for it. Hopefully we get like Desolator, Seeker's fine here. Baneful, whatever. Oh, this is a fun one. This is Baneful Gatekeeper. So I'm gonna want to long loop him here. He's very fast. If he sees you, he'll shoot a bunch of projectiles at you, and he places little ball traps behind him, so you need to heal. For this, I'm only gonna be long looping. You can hear him, he charged up his little trap behind him. You can swap loops if you want. It is very scary though, especially if you don't have like Voracious or Baron to out heal these things. And you will need a boost most of the time to swap loops. You can see if you touch these fireballs, you will take damage. It's always nice to have healing. And Baneful Gatekeeper does slow down in line of sight. Very slightly. So if he does see you, just be careful, he might reverse. But good loops for this. I like doing window loop. I like doing shop loop. Mid loop's okay. Maybe I actually will swap loops here. I'll show you what shop loop's like. I'm sure there's no shop gate. You can always listen for him. Yeah, hug this wall, otherwise he'll see you on shop loop there. And he'll start shooting projectiles, which can be scary. And hug this wall right here is what I mean. He won't see you. Let's swap the window loop now and show you what that's like. This is how I swap loops. Which one come? There he is. Now I can window loop. So if you want to be safe, you can boost during that. I like looping in first person because it's easier to dodge the balls, easier to see where I'm going, easier to loop faster, because he's a very fast monster. And here I'll stop off window loop and I'll go to mid loop. I really don't like this loop, so I'm not going to stay on it. Here, to get off this boost loop, you need a boost. You would go here, and you can continue down long, or go to shop, either one you want. You're at round 20, so fine if I die here. I just want to get some information out. Yeah, I should be able to do any boss though. Your shop. I hope I get LCR or something, just something hard I can try and teach. Drop short. Drop short piano. Drop short piano. The last boss I want is Madman, because I don't want to just show you the same boss over again. If it is, I'm just going to skip it. Maybe show some other loops I can do. Yeah, I could show window loop for him. I'm actually window loop. If it's window, or if it's wooden or Tenebrous too. Okay, here's Tempest. You pretty much always want to do this guy here on storage. Spots you can hardly see anything, but there's 3 or 4 crewmates and then a captain. The captain's like about 22, 23 movement speed, and if he sees you, he'll do the depth call thing and do some damage. It sit stuns you, so you want to keep jumping. And all of them, if you get close to them, they will lunge at you with their sword and do a little attack. The captain's attack is a lot more deadly and do up to like 85, 90 damage. Oh, I actually don't think it does that much. I think it does about 80 damage. Because I know you can use Lightfoot and you're fine. But this box loop works really well. You can just full run this box loop around storage, and you'll always live. as long as you don't get stuck. It is hard to see. You can only see during the flashing lights, the thunder. And you can see the thunder. What was he doing in there? You can see the thunder does shake your camera a bunch. Yeah, the reason this loop works is because all the minions there, you can see they either get stuck behind you or you get stuck in the middle of storage, and they'll never cut you off because you're too fast. Same with the captain. There is RNG where sometimes since the minions are really slow, sometimes the minion might cut you off randomly, but you can always stop, jump over it. Okay. This isn't the best possible loop for Tempest. I actually think map looping using Lightfoot is a lot better, because there's RNG where when the thunder strikes, you can see it shakes your camera around. There's RNG where it can just make you turn fully around. And if you turn fully around into the captain, you could get comboed, maybe step on a bear trap at the same time, and just die. Yeah. This loop, if you aren't 100% confident with this loop, it's pretty scary because you can run into the mid-web. So you can either long loop it, or get Lightfoot. I'm gonna go long here, see what it's like at long. You hear him, see him come, then you go down long. See him coming, so I know he's there. You pretty much are looping the captain while dodging the minions. So I just want the captain to always be behind me. I'm gonna run up here. There's the minions here. Always jump to the side and dodge them. I see the captain's coming. Just keep going again. Captain's still coming. Captain's still coming. I have to dodge his minions along here, so I'm gonna go back and forth. Yeah, jumping and moving to the side almost always dodges the minion attacks. Hit you like that, can be bad. There's a small mechanic that like almost never happens. Okay, so I tell he's in line of sight because he just did his thing on me. Yeah, there's a little mechanic that is weird with the minions, where if they hit you enough times, they will mark you, and if the captain hits you at any point while you're marked, mark you about 10 seconds or so, then that captain will just insta-kill you. You do need to be careful of that. Almost never happens. It only happened to me once. It was really bad RNG. And yeah, you can see why I use Lightfoot, because it's really hard to see traps, really hard to see webs. So just having the immunity to hitting traps is always nice. And that's Tempest, so thank you for watching. That is the early rounds of Nightmare. I did this first try, it's very consistent, especially if you have other traits besides hasty, like utilitarian. Oh my, hello Blow Ghost. You don't want to know what that is. But yeah, thank you for watching. I'll do a mid-game guide around 20 to 30, or around 20 to 40 is what I want to do. And then that'll be pretty much my entire guide on videos. Then I'll start doing just random runs for more and more monsters. Might make a guide for every single monster. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.